Okay, I'm going to go back to the basic principles of efficient running. So we're going to work with the laws of nature rather than working against them. We want our body to go where our body weight goes. So like in the previous slide, we talked about our general center of mass has to follow our pivotal point. It's the same thing. And our muscle activity or contraction should service our body weight, not the other way around. So we don't want to force action to happen, we want to allow it to happen. So number one is gravity, which is always there. Number two is ground reaction, which I'll explain a little bit more later. Number three is muscle elasticity, which is one of the skills you can work on. And number four is muscle contraction. The bottom two, torque and momentum and inertia, you'll use while you're running. But the top four are the strong ones of the skills you can practice. So gravity, you'll practice with falling. Ground reaction, as you understand, your pivot point, that's the ground reaction. And you can only use muscle elasticity if you're using gravity and ground reaction together. And finally is muscle contraction. So very little muscle contraction to use the principles of efficient movement. Sometimes we like to use like a PVC pipe. Grab one really quick. So if I have a PVC pipe and I'm just holding it here, it's not going to go anywhere until it passes its pivot point, which is going to be the palm of my hand. And the minute that I allow gravity to let the PVC pipe fall, then I know exactly how far to let it fall before I have to catch it, which is the exact same thing you're going to do when you run, except the difference will be the other foot will also be moving with you, so you'll actually follow your body weight just like the PVC pipe. And obviously, as you saw with the pipe as well, the further I let it fall away from my point of support, the faster it's going to fall forward. So that's going to be the same with your running. The more you lean, the faster you run. So let's talk about posture. We're going to put this picture right back up again of Michael Johnson. He's got perfect posture. He's got a nice figure 4 going. So optimal posture is always, both legs are bent. We'll talk about that a lot. One leg bends to make the number 4. The other knee stays bent to take the impact. Head position is neutral and forward looking. So you want to make sure you're not forward or back with your head. You're staying in a neutral spine position. And you have a quiet upper body. Again, the least amount of action is really important. So to learn this posture, this goes right back into that skill word, you're going to require accuracy, agility, balance, and coordination. So it is a skill, so it has to be practiced a lot. And posture is the position from which falling begins. So I have to be in that position in order to be able to fall. When we fall, we talk about we're going to lean from our ankles rather than our hips. So if I fall from my hips, I'm just going to bend forward, and then I'm not falling, I'm just bending forward. So we're going to use gravitational torque. So that's going to be, remember we talked about this. So I'm going to fall through the ankles, staying completely connected as a unit. But what's important to note is my body cannot move forward until I pass that pivotal point again on the ball of the foot. So that's my pivotal point of support. So the minute I pass that point, I better be ready to act. That's really important. And staying solid and using that midline to stay stable is going to be the biggest skill you have in your running. So here we go right into falling. Here's a great picture of a guy falling, and he's holding that posture. He's holding that stability. He's got his shoulders over his hips and his hips over his ankles, so everything's staying connected. His lean is completely solid, and he's using gravity, so he's falling with gravity. Movement's a destruction, or as a result of destruction of balance. So you're standing in your posture and your balance. The minute you start to fall, you're destroying that balance. That's how you actually move forward. And we talk about torque again to redirect that energy. So we want to redirect that energy forward, right? So as you fall forward, you pass that pivotal point again on the ball of your foot, redirect by just changing support, and you'll be able to keep running as long as you can keep falling. So as you can retain your lean and your stable midline, you can keep running forward. If I want to run faster, all I have to do is fall further away from my support, right? That's really important to understand. Slow running and fast running, nothing changes as far as posture. So I don't want to push. I don't ignore that from the audience. Thank you. Are you okay?
Yeah, you've got about 5 minutes.
Okay, then just hit stop and I'll delete that whole